Basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones. Ooh, baby. Ooh.
Kane is in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
What time is it? Sloan in the corner for the win!
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Now Myers to win the league, yes!
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Stand and
Well, hello and welcome to the Below the Rim show, a show dedicated to the BBL. It's me, Pabs. I'm joined as always by my main man, Ads. How are you, sir?
Yeah, just waiting to get this out of the way, really.
Good. We're also joined by the brave-hearted, our northern correspondent, Mr. Grant Young. How are you, sir?
Hi. Just want to get this out of the way, apparently. So, let's go.
What is happening? Right, we've got lots coming up on tonight's show. We will talk about the interesting race for second place, the interesting race for 8th spot. We'll also talk about the interesting race for 4th. We'll do our BTR 5s from predictions. We'll have a little quiz at the end as well. And there's no Nicholson tonight, which is unfortunate because, you know, he likes a quiz. We'll talk about the Lions winning the league and what that kind of means for the league moving forwards. Let's start things off with the race for 4th because it's very exciting. And I've got to admit, I think. Hang on, let me just check the predictions. I'm not sure if this. Obviously, Grant, you're excluded from this because you picked the Gladiators no matter what. But I think some of us were expecting maybe there'd be a bit of a hangover for both teams. Such a the heights of that trophy final, probably one of the best BBL finals ever. Well, after that, we kind of almost expect there to be a little bit of a dip in form potentially, but there was not. There was no foot taken off of the gas kind of thing whatsoever. Let's start with the Knicks. I mean, in particular, and I thought we could try and maybe total up, so I can make a list of names as we go through this in terms of the BTR 5 and then see what we come up with at the very end of that. But Marcus Evans was unbelievable I think it was the last quarter particularly, but I'm just going to load up live stats and have a look because I can't remember exactly. But it was a phenomenal game. 2 teams vying for the 4th spot. Cheshire Phoenix, Sheffield Sharks. Sharks have been on a bit of a roll. Phoenix, obviously, the big dip of the final. I mean, were we surprised by this, fellas? Ads, my man?
Surprised by what?
Oh, the Knicks getting the win.
No. What? Why would you be surprised about Knicks getting a win?
Just everything I've just said. It's fine, don't worry.
Sorry, I was just uninstalling Zoom at the same time. I was listening to you.
Oh, good. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised at all. Good. Grant, were you surprised at all at how quickly the Knicks kind of turned things around?
I mean, I was surprised by the winning that, considering they only had like 5 or 6 players. So, considering they had, next to no one, no Larry Lawson Jr., no Will Neighbour. So, yeah, I was surprised that they did kind of take that away. But when you look at their venue, like it was packed to the rafters, and that's probably something Sheffield aren't used to.
Oh, shots fired.
Ooh, like it.
That's an Ads comment.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, they have gone Ads, yeah.
The Knicks, they do this. You know what they're like? They're unpredictable, especially down the stretch. They do crazy things, the Knicks. They always have done. So you can never be truly surprised by anything that the Knicks sort of throw at you, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, the Knicks have done this. It's like, oh, okay. Fair play to him is what I say.
I found it more surprising just because the way the Sharks have been playing lately. And they, to be fair to the Sharks as well, they looked like they were in a kind of commanding role going into that 4th quarter. And like we said, Marcus Evans just sort of found another gear, hit some big threes on the move as well with a hand in his face kind of thing. None of them looked like easy shots particularly, but it was impressive. Now looking at that race for 4th, in fact, before we do that, let's zip across, because obviously the Gladiators were in action as well. Another team that some of us predicted not to win simply because of the magnitude of the trophy final, and came up trumps in what was a thrilling encounter against the Giants. Grant, my man, you were there.
Yeah, I was.
Grant,
Yes,
Go
buddy.
on, Ads has got a question.
I think that your intro music should be the theme tune from Gladiators.
Oh, what a great shout.
Can
What,
you
for the
feel the
team?
power of the Gladiators? Yeah.
The Gladcast, yeah.
Well, I meant actually the intro when the players get introduced.
Oh,
on
mate.
the cover.
Yeah. Great
And then
idea.
someone should do that whole Giants ready,
Well,
Gladiators ready,
no.
and then start the game.
You mean that Gladiators theme tune? I thought you meant the movie for a minute. I was about to say, yeah.
The seminal 90s TV show.
I thought you meant the Gladiator movie for a minute. I didn't realise it had gone. Apologies to Caledonia fans. I didn't know it was going that way. Yeah. I had a vision then. I had a vision then of a Colosseum type scene with get rid of Rocky and have a Centurion or something just standing in the middle
Yeah, that's it.
I think that'll come.
with a sword and a shield.
We'll have our own Coliseum soon.
Is it going to be called the
Oh.
Colosseum? Should be. Anyway, back to
I think it will
the game in hand.
It was bonkers.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Go on.
You know what? We decided to play Manchester's game and just outgunned them in the end. I have never seen for a long time actually Ramon so Ramon.
He's been up for it last couple of games, hasn't he?
He was superb, and spoke to him afterwards, and he was like yeah, I'm dialed in. Like this, we're winning this. Like we're going to playoffs. He's like, we'll take anyone, and I just love that. It was. I'm actually just reminding myself of like each team's 3 point. Like Giants were 10 from 29 from three. What did we finish in the end? Because we shot more than we shot for ages. So we were 8 from 21. But it was just bonkers, like up and down the floor. No team. It was as if we were playing 3-on-3 with a 14-second shot clock. I don't think there was anyone trying to beat the buzzer. There was no one. It was the pace of the game was incredible, and it was. And the slowest quarter was the last one in terms. It was only 21-19. Like
Well, it was the last minute of the game that took longer than anything.
it was hilarious. The refs had just had enough of all the.
What was going on? Because I'm sure I've rewound it and watched it again, but I'm sure your commentator says something like Nick Lewis has been ejected.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or maybe I heard it wrong, but I was like, "What? Has he?"
No, he fouled out.
Wow.
He fouled out.
So right. Okay.
Because they were trying it at the end, because they'd only committed one foul the full fourth quarter. So for the last minute, it was just hack anyone, and Nick seemed to be the one they were forfeiting.
Yeah.
But no, it was the last free throw. Obviously, we'd gone for an extra basket right at the end. Like, game was won. We went for an extra basket. Farrow's fouled. And him and Ramon are just chatting. You know, two experienced pros, two guys just not backing down. The ref tells them, all right, guys, come on, let's just finish the game. And they keep going. The guys, last chance, blah, blah, blah. And he teased them both. So Farrow was sitting on 4 fouls. So he'd taken the first free throw. They kept bickering. The ref's dead giving him a technical, which obviously means he's ejected from the game. And that's why Kill Jimenez had to come on and take that one free throw.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It was daft on it. It was funny.
And like all the players were just like laughing and as if like, oh, come on, ref, just let the game finish.
Yeah.
Like you just saw them all and you're just like, oh, come on. But it was a game played and like there was a wee edge to it because it's such a big game, but you can tell at the end, two just good teams going at it for the full 40 minutes and at the end shaking hands, smiling, chatting, and just two good teams trying to get themselves in shape for the rest of the season in the playoffs.
Well, I feel like there is a certain desperation, if you like, to finish fourth, just to give you the added bonus that you're not going to face the Lions. Not that you're not going to face any other, behemoth kind of teams, but they're more beatable than the Lions, obviously. So that 4th spot, going for that is, and it's a 4-horse race. Giants, Gladiators, Phoenix, and the Sharks, and of course all going sort of head to head yesterday and across the weekend. Marcus Evans, of course, did it again. What was the other game they played? Oh, the Eagles. They beat the Eagles, didn't they? Nearly 19 points they beat them by. And Justin Gordon was very good for the Eagles. I think he got a huge dunk in that game. I can't remember now. But Marcus Evans, again, was like 27 points, 8 assists. And he's really difficult for him to shut down. And
Marcus Evans is in the BTR top 5 then, yeah?
Phoenix. Well, I've been notching them down as we go. So far, I've got Evans, Fletcher. I've put Ali Hodzic and Bailey. Although weirdly, you didn't mention a Caledonia player, but I thought they were both exceptional.
Well, I did mention Farrell. I've mentioned him again.
Oh, you did mention Farrell, but getting fouls. Yeah, sorry, nothing about him playing well.
Yeah, but you know what? If you look at Jeremiah's stat line,
Bailey's awesome.
He's like 2 rebounds and like 2 assists away from a triple double.
He is. Yeah, he had a great game,
and he's one of the guys that when he wants to be. He could easily be the best player in the league because he's so versatile. He can do it all. He gets steals, he gets rebounds on both ends of the floor. You just wish he could do that for every game, all game. But
well, he's getting the consistency's coming in it now. He's obviously
absolutely.
But he didn't get a triple-double, did he? But Taj Green did on Friday.
Taj, I thought I've written him down as well. I thought he was exceptional. He certainly got 1 or 2 humongous dunks.
He's got a couple of good ones on Sunday as well.
Yeah, he's going up more and more in my estimation, that guy.
My favourite move of Sunday's game was you had Farrell backing down William Lee, and he spun him. And Lee's just left there, and Farrell's at the basket, and he's just turned round and given it
the muscles,
the big guns, as he's absolutely destroyed William Lee under the hoop. It was awesome.
He's a big boy.
I hope that's up there in plays of the week because William Lee was just left there, what the hell's just happened? How's he blown by me?
So who's making it? Who is going to make it? Giants have played 31. Sharks have played 31. Sharks, I mean, they're not out of it. They're 6 points off of that 4th spot, but with only 5 games to go for them, it looks like a taller order, if you like. But Giants, I mean, they're there right now. Caledonia win one, and they leapfrog them, I think, because have you guys got the head-to-head now?
Yeah, we've 3-1 up against Manchester.
So you'd leapfrog them with one more win, and obviously got that game in hand. Phoenix have also got a game in hand over the Giants, which would put them just 2 points off it. It's so tight.
Well, we've got them on Friday.
In fact, yeah. Let's. I'm opening tabs like crazy right now. So Giants. So there's a head-to-head coming. So you won't be playing Gladiators again, will you? Because obviously that's the head-to-head settled on that one. Oh, great! The old tabs aren't working. Somebody tell me the next 5 run-ins for these guys.
My Wi-Fi's just gone.
I don't think it's your Wi-Fi. I think it's the web. I think it might be the website.
Oh, is 2 people on the BBL website too much for it?
I can't. It keeps coming up with that bad gateway thing when I'm going on.
Maybe they're editing it right as we speak.
We have surged the BBL website.
Either that or they hate our show so much they've decided to turn. They know we're recording tonight. They've turned everything off.
Yeah.
But anyway, their run-ins, I'm sure, will count. Maybe we'll look back at that. But who is favourite in that situation? Go on, Ads.
What do you mean?
Who's favourite out of those 4 to make the 4th spot? Giants, Gladiators, Phoenix, or Sharks?
Well, I mean, who is the favourite? I mean, the Giants. Okay, the Giants are the favourites.
They're in the pole position at the moment. Is it that easy? You backing yours?
I think it's generally between Manchester and Gladiators.
All right, I'll go Phoenix then, because they are rolling at the moment. They are rolling. Anyway, we're undecided, but again, it's something we'll talk about in coming shows. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and have a little talk about the race for 8th spot, which is heating up. See you in a sec. So let's have a look at another interesting narrative. That's a term we've not used enough, I don't think. A narrative, perhaps. The race for the 8th spot, which, I mean, looking at the league table before the weekend, the team in the driving seat for that was undoubtedly the Plymouth City Patriots. Eagles picked up a win, a very close fought win as well, it has to be said, over the Surrey Scorchers, 79-78. They were 4 points up, and Wang hit a 3 inside the last 2 seconds to make it a 1-point game. And much to the dismay of Patriots fans, they've closed the gap. But probably more concerning to that is that the Patriots are still very inconsistent. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick up a win. But that race for the 8th is heating up. Grant, my man, let's start with you. Do you think this could come down to that last game of the season, or is there every chance that actually one of these two teams is going to take care of that before?
I think it will come down to the last game, because we probably are going to have that throughout the whole table, and that's what we love to see, and allows us to talk more rubbish. So it's hopefully going to be exactly what happens. I don't see where Plymouth are going to get a win until then. And Newcastle seem to be actually playing all right, considering they're minus Hamlet, which I couldn't believe people were picking in the Discord for the predictions.
I did. I didn't realise he was out.
He missed last weekend. I was absolutely delighted when I saw so many people pick him.
Damn it. Why didn't you say something evil? Evil boy.
It's a competition and he needs to win. But no, I genuinely think without him, it allows people like Kyle Johnston, Gordon to just play better. I think I've said it before in this show. I think Hamlet goes too much one-on-one, and there's a reason he gets so many points. It's because, well, he makes sure he does. But I'm not sure how good he is to a fit of a team like that. So I genuinely think Newcastle are looking on the up with what they've got. And
I've managed to open the tab for them so we can see their next 5 games.
Talk to me.
Sharks, Riders, Gladiators, Lions, Gladiators. So looking at that doesn't look
So they played 31.
Appealing. Well, they were on the same. That's their next 5. I can't see 6 because I can't open that tab. But both teams have got 6 games left. And I know Patriots have got the Riders one more time, Scorchers one more time. And I think we've got Gladiators and Cheshire Phoenix. So
that Surrey game's the big one. If they can get one more win before they play Newcastle, it's just that cushion. But having watched them a wee bit over the week, I don't know where it's coming from. It's just they're consistently inconsistent, let's be honest.
Yeah, because they did so well against the Riders on Tuesday night. Away there, looked like they were going to nick that one. I felt they were a little bit hard done by. I thought Adekoya played the elbow, not the ball, which obviously was the last turnover. But and then to turn around that on the Friday night and play against the Giants, Ads, my man, your Giants boys absolutely destroyed the Patriots. Did you give Nicholson a hug? He looked very sad.
I did, mate. I did. I mean,
is that before or after taking the piss out of him on the videos?
Probably both. I mean, it was pretty mad because obviously Giants came out flying, as they do at a lot of home games. Half time, they're up by a bunch of points. And I said to Nicholson, I was like, look, don't get too down because I've seen these games end up in overtime. You know what I mean? And then they came out in the third quarter and they just finished them off, basically. I don't know, Plymouth, they just you just couldn't get going, could you? And Giants were pretty awesome, to be fair. Taj was on another level. Ant Roberson, the second half of the season, that guy, I'm telling you.
I told you, he's one of my favourite players in that team. He's a real glue guy. He's very quick.
He is the glue. And obviously Ramon is just playing like Ramon at the moment. It's the end of the season. He knows what's coming.
Yeah.
But the biggest bummer, though, really is, and this has just been typical of the Giants season, they get one guy back from injury, so Nathan Robinson's back, and then we lose legend. He went down on his ankle hard. How long he's out for, I don't know. But
that's a big loss as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, he started playing like the player that he should be. He's playing like a 7-2-5.
Mm.
You know, going in hard, dunking on people, getting blocks. Yeah, but it's just been sort of typical of the Giants season. You get one guy back and then another one gets hurt.
I've managed to, in terms of the next 5 games, so last 5 games, Eagles obviously picked up the win against Scorchers, but they're 4-1. So it's not pretty reading for them by any stretch of the imagination, although when you look at their scores, they look the more likely to cause an upset and to get a win. Their next 5, like we said, Sharks, Riders, Gladiators, Lions, Gladiators, and then the last game of the season is against the Patriots. Patriots lost their last, 5 on the list there, but I think it's 6. It might be worse than that. It might be 8. I can't remember. Obviously losing to the Riders twice, Giants, Phoenix, and Flyers. But the manner of the losses compared to the Eagles is what's worrying. It's 30 points. It's, 25, 30 points losses.
Mm-hmm.
Really good showing against the Riders. Home and away, to be fair, but they did unfortunately do what this team is starting to do, is to sort of take their eye off the ball for 5 minutes, and you can't do that against teams like the Riders. They punish you. And then next 5. So next 5, Scorchers, Gladiators, Riders, Phoenix, and the London Lions. And then, of course, they face the Eagles. It looks like there's a winnable game there for them. And then at the same time, it doesn't, because obviously you look at that and you think, well, the way the Scorchers are playing at the moment, they worried the Lions the other night, So it's who? I mean, as it stands at the moment, guys, who have you got making that 8th spot? Eagles or Patriots? Grant, mate. Nicholson's not here, but you probably can hear him cry from Scotland.
I thought that's what was the sound at my front door there. But no, I think I've said for a while now, I think Plymouth will hold on and that the 8 teams are locked in. I think we've all kind of hinted at that. But this Newcastle team, as I just said, are playing better than they've played all season. I would rather Plymouth made it because it makes me happy. But I'm thinking it's getting closer to being Newcastle are going to get them last day of the season.
That's my man.
I mean, I've been saying Plymouth all along, and I still want them to, and I still think that they will. But I mean, they're going to have to up it a bit from Friday's game. You know what I mean? It was it wasn't pretty. But yeah, I mean, I really, really hope Plymouth make it. Really do. I think you guys have been through enough this season and deserve to.
There's been a few changes.
Well. Yeah, and for guys like Dusha, just want them to do it. But no, I'm sticking with him. I'm sticking with Plymouth doing it.
I've got 2. There's 2 things for me. Oh, go on, Ed, sorry.
I was just going to say Newcastle might choke.
Well, the worry is on that side is, like I said, they look like the team that's more likely to get a win or to upset the apple cart, so to speak. But there's 2 things for me. The one really positive thing is that Ralph Bissaint is starting to cook a bit. I was surprised he didn't play more, bearing in mind, I think he'd played 15 minutes and he had like 13 points. He looked very, very good. He only played 26 minutes, had 18 points, 6 rebounds and assist. I thought he was very impressive, and he's getting better and better. And it's a tough situation for him to come into, because obviously he's one of those kind of impact players that scores a lot, and he's got to find his feet in a new team and get that sorted. So that's a positive. He's going to be a problem for teams to deal with, and give LVC and Rashad Hassan the kind of a bit of shared responsibility in that respect, because, other than those 2, they're the more sort of prolific scorers, if you like. Bissaint can do that job as well. Ieka Palor as well is I like him a lot. He didn't have as much of an impact on that game as I thought he might do. But the other thing I keep thinking, and Nicholson won't like this at all, is are we bothered? Because it's going to be 8th and you have to play the Lions.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks I'd rather the Eagles went through that, if I'm honest. We have a nice end to the season, bit relaxed. We had a crack at it, and then Good luck, Eagles. Enjoy the Lions. That's it. I get to commentate one more time, which would be good.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your voice, perhaps. So,
oh, bless you. You're in a very small minority there. Good lad.
You always give me a wee mention, and I get nice warm feelings.
Of course, I made you a fucking 7-minute video for half time this time. If you didn't catch that, by the way, I did a cinematic view, if you like, a hype video of the trophy final. That's up on our YouTube channel under the Hype VTs. Check that out. Yeah, indeed. So, but yeah, I think the Pats are still in their destiny, isn't it? They've both taken the same.
So they've got 2 games. Do we see Newcastle winning one of their next 5 before that to make it a 1-game shootout? But then are Plymouth not up in the head-to-head by, did we not say single figures? So
yes,
it
that last game of the season.
Hey, it could come down to points.
If it comes down to the last game of the season, I think the Eagles will take it because they've seemed to have. Well, I mean, obviously, it depends how the next 5 games go, doesn't it? But they seem to have more momentum.
Yeah, but what I mean, it could actually come down to if Newcastle, say for example, Newcastle get one more win, and Newcastle are down by 2 points, heading into 2 league points, and they win the game, but they could still finish 9th because I'm sure Plymouth have more points than them. And just for my, say for example, Eagles only win by like 3 points that last game of the season, Plymouth would still go 8th spot.
True.
Did we not say it was like 5 or 9 points or something? The difference.
I think it's 7 or 8 points, something like that.
Yeah. So
not a lot.
Not a lot, but it's a lead coming into a last game that adds another dimension to it, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. Anyway, just to say, which I didn't mention, was I thought that Hassan French had an awesome game against Surrey Scorchers. Finished with more rebounds than points, 17 points, 18 rebounds. That guy is a unit, and of course Carl Johnson, 26 points as well. I thought he was very good. So my list for BTR 5 is getting longer and longer. Let's talk about the race for second, and then we'll pick our BTR 5 from that. My question to you guys, so obviously Flyers, Riders, going for that second spot. To me, that looked like it was going to be a game of the, maybe possibly even game of the season. It was like a real head-to-head. Riders at home, Flyers are visitors. Flyers desperately trying to get hold on to that second spot that they occupy right now. And they just got absolutely destroyed by the Riders. I'm just trying to find the final score. 106-89, and I'm not sure if any of us really thought. I mean, we all thought long and hard when it came to doing our predictions because it wasn't an easy one to pick. Because both
I can't believe I picked Bristol. The one game I picked Bristol, I'm upset.
Well, there you go. So, but my question kind of is, Ads, we'll start with you. My question is, is it over? Was the race for second over when the Riders beat the Flyers?
I don't think it's necessarily over, but I, of course, said that this would happen and that Leicester would come second and they'd beat Bristol. So I'm good with it.
I think it would have been more interesting I think I'd agree with you, and I think Leicester will come second, but it would have been, had London beaten Bristol, I think it would have been a foregone conclusion.
But then this is the other turnaround, the second kind of part of that question. Is it now back on now that the Flyers beat the Lions? Because, as you were looking at it, you kind of are judging that maybe they're not Flyers that, could be out of it now. They're not going to get the results from, let's say, the Lions and whatnot. But then they turn around, they beat the Lions. They've kind of kept the pressure on the Riders. Riders are 2 games in hand and only a game behind, 1 win behind. Out of the 2 of them, I don't know if you agree with this. Out of the 2 of them, I'm finding it really hard to work out who's the most kind of vulnerable, if you like, because you look at the Flyers, they had a little bit of a dip. It looked a little bit unsteady, and then they pulled through a couple of games. They had a couple of tight games that they could have lost against. I think it was the Eagles was one game. It might even have been the Scorchers in another game, but there were two games they could have gone either way. They managed to hold on to those, but then they dropped points elsewhere. But the Riders, it feels a little bit the same. There's not the air of invincibility that the Riders once had. It's really tough to pick out of these two for me, and I know you guys are both kind of going Leicester. But there is a bit of a knock-on effect. Not a knock-on effect. There is a bit of a spanner in the works with that, and that is that Mark Loving got a pretty bad injury against the Patriots. Rob's got to I spoke to him after the game. He's going to sort of assess it and go game to game because it's really important, obviously, that guy is fit for the playoffs.
Who's that, sorry?
Mark Loving. I think it looked like a dislocation. I mean, the cameras came off it on the VT because it was his arm. We couldn't work out whether it was from his shoulder or from his elbow. I think it's his shoulder, but it was hanging down and he was holding it up. Basically, it was horrendous. How quickly he'll recover from something like that, I don't know. And how desperate are they to hold on to a second spot as well? Because, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, look, this is Rob and Leicester we're talking about here. Of course he wants the second spot. You know what I mean? He's not going to be thinking about, if we get the third spot, this happens out. He's going to want the second spot. Rob will be pissed that he didn't get the first spot. You know what I mean? Rob Paternostro will have believed that he could have won this league again at the start of the year. And I'm sure it grates on him every day knowing that it's been a foregone conclusion as early as it has been. But yeah, of course they're going to want to, he's going to want to finish second, and losing Mark Loving is a problem.
Mark Loving makes such a big difference for them. It makes them a really interesting matchup because he plays the 4 or the 3, or if they go really small, he can play a bit of the 5. He spreads the floor. He's athletic. He does a lot of good for them. So without him, they have Adekoya or probably Welsh as their next guys in. So that they don't have maybe necessarily the same quality and depth as maybe even Bristol. And it's interesting, Rob's having to almost take it time by time, and it might be they think, right, do we need him? Can he play 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and see if they can spell him back in time for the playoffs? And you see that with numerous teams at the moment thinking, okay, we've got guys a wee bit hurt and battered up. It's been a long season. Can we rest them to make sure they're okay, even to be ready for the playoffs? Because I suppose if they know they're top 3.
Well, look, it's a bit like what Vince did with William Lee on Sunday. Obviously, we can't look at the stats, but he was sort of in and out sporadically, wasn't he? He didn't play the normal amount of minutes he'd play when he's fit. And you're sort of wondering whether that is just, throwing a bit of caution to the wind with the playoffs coming up. But the thing is, a guy like Mark Loving, he's such a big part of what Leicester do. I mean, with William Lee out, we really noticed it in Manchester for the first few games, especially because the guy does everything.
Yeah, he only played 20 minutes against Caledonia. 10. I've managed to get it to 10 points.
But what you have got with Manchester is that you've got plenty of other options for scorers. You've got Dirk Williams. Fletch will give you 25, 30 points.
And 15 assists.
Robertson will give you buckets. So, it's not like Giants are short on scorers. Whereas for Leicester, it kind of puts guys like Patrick in a difficult position because he's got to, add more points to what he already gives and do everything else that he does.
Jackson, for me, I think he's really leading that team at the moment. Action Jackson, as I kept calling him on the broadcast.
I loved that, by the way.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Pretty sure that's an old Carl Weathers film, isn't it? Wasn't he Action Jackson?
I think we need to bring back some of these player nicknames from like the 70s and 80s when everyone had a nickname.
When everyone had an afro, Action Jackson. Yeah. Yeah. So it's tough to call still. I know, but I still think the Flyers can hold on to that spot. I really would, and not for anything, no disrespect to the Riders. I'd like to see them hold on to it just because I think they've performed exceptionally well all season, and it was such a big surprise considering how we all thought they'd.
And I think that's the reason. I think.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. They deserve it. You know, they've had a great year. They've worked really hard. They absolutely deserve it. And I don't think there's anyone that would begrudge Bristol coming in second. You know, it's
it's tight. It's really tight to call. Yeah, we're kind of splitting hairs looking at it.
Yeah.
It's another exciting matchup, and I 100% agree with Ads. It's one of those ones where before the season started, we all had Bristol struggling, and we all thought Leicester would be best of the rest, and Bristol have been consistent, whereas actually probably Leicester have been inconsistent. So I don't think anyone would be surprised either way.
Especially how we kind of view Leicester over the last decade, really. Let's have a quick look at the Bristol Flyers' triumph over the London Lions, which, again, I don't think anybody really saw coming. The London Lions on a high after being crowned league champions on the Friday. Maybe didn't roll out the well, mind you, they didn't rest too many of the big guys.
They don't have many left, do they?
But I was going to say, they after they made those changes and had got rid of Ovi and had the injury issues. And is it Costa Coopers is only playing the European games? That doesn't leave him a huge amount, but it's still, I mean, you say that, but it's still ridiculous talent going right the way through that squad. But Bristol Flyers shot the three ball, I thought, very well. About 40% it was, 13 from 33. Ollison just looked like he was going to hit every shot he took. And VJ King, although VJ King didn't have a great night from three-pointer, I just thought he was a very dominant player on and off the ball. 13 rebounds he amassed, as well as 16 points. What do we make of that? Is that just the Lions just taking a foot off the gas now, or is that, it looked hard fought? Obviously, it was OT.
They got beat, Babs. They got beat. That's what happened. Bristol beat London. They didn't take the foot off the gas. They just got beat.
I'm going to disagree with Ads. You watch the game back, they've got Hruban and Zubcic sitting on the bench for the end of the overtime and regular, or maybe not regular time, but for end of something. They've got two of their main guys sitting down. The guys, they only played 22 minutes each.
Is this not the deepest team that we've ever seen in the BBL?
Even the guys they rolled out with.
They can do no wrong from 1 through 12.
Yeah, but they only had 9.
But the 9 would class. 9. The 9 would start on any other BBL team.
Their coach was like, doesn't matter if we don't win this game.
Well, what doesn't help them now is, though, they've now got, I think Kamagan got hurt. So Kamagan's out.
Oh, shit.
Sharma's out. Hufos hasn't registered the league and hasn't been around the team for a while. I think he's dealing with stuff at home.
They really miss Sharma, to be honest. Yeah.
Pardon?
They really miss Sharma.
Yeah. And without Sharma, without Dekker, without whoever else is injured, because they've got a lot of injuries. Queeley's injured. Tariq Phillips obviously has not played at all really for them. Even adding the younger guy who played really well against Gladiators in the trophy game.
Caboza, yeah.
Caboza's injured. They've got a lot of their kind of role guys out injured.
That's still a hell of a 9. Yeah. And
having spoken to Vince yesterday, and I mentioned to Vince, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised at that." He's like, London will be dialing it down, getting ready to kind of dial back up for the playoffs and seeing who's healthy because they're so short. Like, Oni's played 34 minutes and got.
He didn't have a great game.
3 points. Yeah. He wouldn't be on the court if they had anyone fit. He's very much, I find him a bit of an enigma player in the league. In Europe, he's been brilliant, but in the BBL, I don't think he does the same thing. It's as if he's like almost saying this level's below me.
Yeah.
But he's never, I don't feel like in the league, and he might be games that I've not seen kind of come out and blown anyone away. Whereas in Europe, he's incredible. Defensively, he's a brilliant player. But yeah, I reckon that's one of the games that they didn't mind losing. And I'll happily say that's another conspiracy game where they're like, you know what? Are they just sorting the order out?
Maybe. Well, I'm a little bit with ads on it more so that having watched it goes to overtime. It was a tight finish. They were, both teams were fighting for it. Both teams were not running out of bodies, but suffering with fatigue the most definitely. And the difference is Lions have got the European games, and like you say, some of the big boys are on the bench at the end there because they're going to need them midweek. They've got a tough fixture coming up, so that would have played a part most definitely. But credit to the Flyers.
It's interesting because they don't have any other. Okay, they're quite a big team, or they would be, but they've just got a lot of wing guys and guards. Taylor, Boney, Aaron Best, Luke Nelson, Josh Ward-Hibbert's probably a 3, or he is a 3-man who can play a bit of the 4.
He can play guard as well.
2-3. Mo Soloade's a 2-3 guy. Zubcic is like a stretch 4, but he's at the size of a 5-man. If they've not got Sharma, they've got no real inside game now.
No. He's the guy. He's the big man in the middle, definitely. So you guys think Riders will pip the Flyers to second? I'll stick with the Flyers. We'll get Nicholson's opinion on that. But let's... shuffle over to the BTR 5. I've made a list as we've gone through this of players that we've been talking about. So I've got, there's quite a few on this list. There's Marcus Evans, Ramon Fletcher, Farah Alihodzic, Jeremiah Bailey, Zach Jackson, Mark Loving, Taj Green, Hassan French, that is, Kyle Johnson, VJ King, and Tevin Ollison. What you guys got? And we'll see.
I'm going to go with the first 4 names you said.
Yeah.
So, Faro, Jeremiah, Ramon, and
Bailey.
Evans.
Oh, sorry, Alihodzic was the other one, wasn't it?
So,
Evans,
Alihodzic, Bailey, Ramon, and flip the coin. There's no coin.
Great for podcast.
There's no coin. And I'm going for Hassan French.
Yeah,
between Jackson and French for my 5th spot.
Jackson had a couple of good games. Evans did as well. Ads, my man, what are you going with?
Well, how are you going to overlook Taj Green's triple-double on Friday night?
I haven't. I wrote him down. I read him out.
No, I'm talking to Grant.
Oh, Grant's Grant. Go on. Yeah. What you got?
I'm my own man.
Taj Green.
Yep.
Ramon Fletcher.
Yep.
Alihodzic.
Yeah.
Mark Loving. He's back. And who was the other one I had? It was similar to your
Marcus Evans?
No. Who was it?
Bailey.
Bristol guy.
Ollison.
VJ King or Ollison?
VJ King.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've gone VJ King, Marcus Evans, Ramon Fletcher, Alihodzic, and I've gone Green. So we've got definitely in it. VJ King, Marcus Evans, Ramon Fletcher, Alihodzic, and Taj Green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. That's fair, isn't it? We didn't get anything from Nicholson. He normally mails it in, but not on this occasion. Cheers, mate. He's a bit ill, bless him. His glands are up. Stop laughing. It's not funny. Poor lad. Good. Let's move on to the next topic at hand. Lions win the league. Which obviously was inevitable, I think. I think we're all agreed on that. There were some bold statements, bearing in mind they still had 6 games left, regarding the sort of being the most dominant team and whatnot. Although I think that's been removed now because, according to the numbers, they've slipped outside the top 5 for win percentage, which means
police were on to them.
Hmm?
The fact police were on to them.
Yep, I was leading the way with my pitchfork. I am somewhat torn as well because I'm so happy for Luke Nelson and Steve Nelson. Obviously, he was there. It was absolutely phenomenal to see that. 30 years to the day as well. Just nostalgia took over for me in that situation. I was so happy for him. Brilliant stuff. But what does this mean for the shape of the league and the kind of future in the league? And I'll throw this open to you guys, but essentially, how long before anyone can challenge them is what we want to look at now and talk about. How does this start with you? How does this look for the league moving forwards, and how long will it be?
Well, it's going to go on for as long as they're the only team that have got players earning into the millions. Single players.
Well, we've got rosters. We've got a roster report from various places saying 7 million at minimum has been spent on this squad.
At least. At the very least. So it's going to go on as long as they're doing that and nobody else can do it. It's a no-brainer.
Mm.
It's as simple as that. Unless Caledonia's bosses are going to go, right, okay, we'll have a bit of this and start doing the same thing, then it's going to go on until somebody else can roll with them. I mean, there's obviously all this speculation about the Giants and what's happening there, and it worries me a little bit because I do not want to become the next London Lions in that we do what they've done this year.
You just want a handbag, don't you? You want a basketball handbag. That's what you want, lads.
Yeah, I need a ball
Instead
bag.
of a handbag, you want a wee wallet, don't you?
A ball bag. Adds his ball bag. Nicholson somehow managed to get hold of one.
A ball bag?
We had one in pink. It's a pink one. I don't know what it was, if I'm honest. I've only seen the jacket that's worth 350 quid. I've not seen the ball bag, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There's me looking at my bank account earlier thinking, can I buy one of these retro jerseys for 50 quid? And there's fucking Lions coats for 350. Anyway, carry on. But so can you put a year? Can you put a stamp on it? How many years?
Like I say, until somebody. I mean, it's how long's a piece of string? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to my other point about the Giants, I would rather be in a position kind of like we're in now. I mean, obviously, we all want to have more money in the league, but I don't want to end up being that team that people like me start bitching about. Basically. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. I don't. I mean, there was some dude giving me some heat on Twitter this week.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
About a comment I made about them buying fans, and it's like, well, what? Well, prove to me that they haven't.
Let's briefly talk about that now, because I thought the weirdly ironic thing about that was you said what you said last week, and a lot of people agree with you, and it's hard not to agree with you because they have the money and it's what they've had to do. They haven't had time to do it organically. They've had to spend the money and buy fans. They've had to spend the money, buy the team, and get it into the European competition, do as best as they can. But of all the Lions fans there were meant to be, it only offended one guy.
Well, there must always be one, as they say. But, I mean, to be honest, I thought about doing it, and I thought, well, what's the point? And that was to go back through the last 4 seasons and get screen grabs of games from every year at the Copper Box, and then go, well, there's the previous 4 years.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
This year. Now, I did actually take a screenshot today of the last game because somebody did a highlight reel from the baseline so that you could see behind the basket at the other end.
Oh, really?
And there's hundreds of empty seats, and the upper deck wasn't full.
Well, it was meant to be 3,500 fans or something.
All right, but the capacity in that place is 6,000, is it not?
I don't know.
All right.
It's more. Yes, it's hot. But
the point is that they get a lot more people than they have done, you know, in
Yeah, of
years
course.
gone by. And,
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to Vince or the players or anyone that was there at that time. It's just a fact. Go back on YouTube and look at streams and look at it, you know, and they certainly didn't have rappers doing the halftime show. And, you know, I'm led to believe also that they've done games where everybody goes in for free.
There's been a couple where they've evidently
like
given
charity donations.
I don't really know. It's not an argument or a discussion because the facts are right there. It's as simple as that. That is what has happened, and you know, if their payroll has been £7 million, then you know, like we said at the start of the season, they shouldn't, in theory, lose a game. Really.
No, well, that's what a lot of us thought at the start. Obviously, you know, hindsight. Not you, yeah, I know. I know. But you look at it, they shouldn't really. They've lost 4 now. Yeah, they're down to 88%.
Lost 5.
Well, yeah, but that's in the trophy. That didn't count. You want to talk conspiracies?
Oh, well, there you go. But they didn't win every.
Well, thank God they didn't make the final because it probably would have been shit, and it was one of the best finals we've ever seen. So,
yeah. So they didn't win all the trophies. They didn't win every game.
They're out of the leaderboard for greatest percentages of all time.
Okay.
So Kingston Kings, Worthing Bears, Leicester Riders. I forget who else. Might be Chester Jets. I can't remember.
So
listen, we'll have a quick break because I think we've only got a minute left or so, and then we'll come back, get Grant's opinion on it. All right. See you in a sec. Welcome back. So same question to you, really, Grant. How long? What does the league look like heading into the next couple of years? How long is it going to be before a team can compete, like legitimately challenge the Lions?
I still think this season's been massively competitive. Like we look at how, other than maybe a handful of games, very few have been blowouts. I think all teams have challenged London, with maybe the exception of Plymouth in one or two games.
How dare you?
Pardon?
How dare you?
Facts, mate. Facts.
That's a low blow. First time we played them, we got it to 6 points, so I'll take that. But go on.
And I genuinely think that basketball's a strange sport. Very few times does a team who spend the most end up winning. Look at the NBA in terms of budget incomes and profiles, and I genuinely think, and this might just be the optimist within me, that I don't think London will win even next season all 4 now, having seen how they're kind of battered their way through 60 games. They'll by the end of the season, if they reach the playoff finals, I'm sure it won't be far off 70 or 60, mid-60s in games. That's an insane schedule that squad's had. And they've had guys constantly in and out through injuries. So if that's what they want to do, and okay, put aside EuroLeague, I think what London are doing is massively positive. And I think that we're seeing the fact we're talking about ownerships for Gladiators, ownerships for Manchester. You can already see there's probably changes going to happen at other teams. We see Bristol's kind of one that kind of underlies because we're waiting for them to have their own facility. But we know their owners have got big money. So you've got a question mark about how much further Bristol develop once they probably move in their own facility. I think it's largely exciting. Like, I don't think will they dominate next season? Probably. Will they dominate the season after that? Maybe less likely. And after that, I don't think so. Don't think so at all, because they're in the biggest market. But you see that with how much, say, the Lakers struggle. How much? Yeah,
but I don't think the market thing translates down to us anyway. I think that's was just a player empowerment thing for a player to say, "Oh, this is a small market team. I want to fuck off somewhere else." Basically,
potentially. So, I think what I'm trying to say is that I generally don't see it becoming a situation where it's just a foregone conclusion.
I think it's difficult to look across at the NBA, perhaps. It's easier to look across at Europe, and in Europe, the bigger clubs with the bigger budgets are the teams that win things. I mean, even look at, Euro Cup, Gran Canaria, one of the favourites, and their budget is something in the region of 15 to 21 million for their roster. We're getting into more of a football situation right now. This is the first time a team has had that kind of money. Even when you go back and look at Kingston Kings and how dominant they were, the players they bought in were BBL players, if you like. They were players that existed in the league, and they maybe added one or two. I mean, Darryl Reshaw went and came back. I think Lorenzo Duncan was always a big part of the BBL, played a number of years, and obviously Alan Cunningham played his career here. Alton Bird played his career here, and you're looking at players like that. Martin Henlon, Trevor Gordon.
Yeah, but what's funny?
No one's had this money like that, so it does feel a little bit like we're in a situation now where normally maybe when you look at other sports it wouldn't matter, but because of the sheer fact that one player is being paid more than the rest of the rosters in the BBL combined, it makes you think, wow, this is a very different situation. But for me, it's not fair. I mean? It's not fair. But for I've got something on that as well. But in terms of the shape of the league, for just one team to challenge and make it legitimate, I think we're looking at 3 to 4 years, if I'm honest. For multiple teams to challenge maybe 50 to 60% of the league, we're looking at something like maybe 7 years, depending on investments. And if there's a league investment that means that teams get filtered down money, they're still going to come up with the fact that the Lions haven't done what they wanted to do in Euro Cup. And that's making a leap and thinking they're going to get knocked out in the first round of 16. It's quite possible. I mean, who did they get? They're playing in Paris, aren't they? No, they played in Paris.
Last week they played Badalona.
Yeah.
Are they still in it?
Yeah, they're in the round of 16.
Right.
How does this work now? Is this home and away?
I think it's just I want to say it's just knockout.
It's just knockout. So I don't think because realistically, when you look at it, they've consistently beaten the two worst teams in the competition. They've been in and around some of the bigger teams. They've almost caused upsets in some games. They run close. They were unlucky at home a couple of times.
They beat Paris.
Yeah, so that's good things. But I don't think they've done anywhere near what they wanted to achieve, if you like. Which means, and we know they want EuroLeague. It's not like a secret. They want a EuroLeague team. We're talking 40 million for that kind of thing. 30 to 40 million for sort of EuroLeague, but failing obviously that and then doing Euro Cup again, they're going to want to win it. And if they're going to want to win it, they're going to have to spend the money that the top guys are spending. So we're talking 15 to 20 million. And with all due respect, the new owners that are coming in around the league, I don't think they can touch it. I don't think get anywhere near it. That is the scary side of it. But to what you said, Ads, is it fair? The issue is, and there's a lot of fans now that are starting to air this. The spending on its own per se is not necessarily an issue. So the money the Lions spend, it's the Lions' money. They can spend it absolutely fine. But the problem we got now is that they also own the league, and that same amount of money. This is how people are viewing it. This isn't necessarily our view of it. They're spending the money on that roster and on filling the copper box and the rest of the league, and they're moving things in the right direction. They've done some really good things, but the money spent on the league side of things, I don't think is anywhere near the same. And it's creating a bit of a gulf. And I can only see that getting more so. Go on, Grant.
So I don't disagree with that. But what I think I've said before, and I think we've had this chat before, remember they've owned the Lions a lot longer than they have the league.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think there's a time scale. If we get to a point maybe this time next year where we're having the exact same conversations and we're not seeing things progress within the league, we're not seeing maybe the results of what stuff like the CEO is beginning to talk about, then yeah, I'd maybe change my opinion.
It is definitely a work in progress. That is,
we hear
100%.
there's going to be like league-wide sponsorship stuff, which is going to hopefully increase what spend other teams get. The league obviously have a vested interest in the moment in two teams. They've obviously not given them big cash to splash because they're wanting to make it done in the right way. And from what I hear and see, Plymouth seem to have used that money to put a bit of kind of a backbone and infrastructure in place within the club, and Manchester have kind of gone maybe a slightly different route by trying to say, well, we're going to tie some top end players like Ramon and stuff probably down for like 2-year contracts. And both are different, but both are looking at sustainability in terms of, well, they're guaranteeing a top quality player for 2 years. And I see that as good use of some spend. But I generally think that if we've got to this stage next season where we're having a similar conversation, we're not seeing progress to the league and other clubs getting somewhere, then yeah, there's a potential chance of obviously that gap widening. I think it'll be interesting to see what, for my club, what we do. Obviously a lot of focus has been put on our facility that's getting built, but from speaking to Steve and around the club, they understand that the player budget is going to be different next season because they have the club has aims of Europe. They're not just going to tick the box and play 36 games in the league. They want to make something of it. And I think the owners and club are saying a lot and walking the talk at the moment. We've won our first trophy for so long, in case I've not mentioned that. But I genuinely believe that the league is moving massively in the right direction. Things as fans we've moaned about in the past, we don't mention. We don't say it's good, but we're not mentioning the bad. So I genuinely believe that we'll see a time when we've got more teams competing at the top, teams wanting to compete in Europe in a variety of competitions, and a greater level of player coming to this league from abroad, but also then helping increase the level of British player as well.
Adz, my man, do you want to have a little final word on it?
Not really. It's just a topic that we can go around all day, every week, but it is what it is. Like I say, until there's another club with that much money and that much buying power, then this is what we're dealing with. Simple as that. I mean, if you wanted to ask me what I think about the whole Euro thing, it's like, well, there's an argument to say then, you know, with your endless money, have two teams, one that's purely for the BBL and one that's purely for the Euro League. Keep them as separate entities, but it's not really how it works, is it? I mean, it's like I say, I agree. This season has been great. There's been some amazing stuff happen. The branding's getting better. The coverage is is so much better. You know, in such a quick space of time. The fact that the presentation's better, multi-camera angles, replays. There's a lot of great things that have happened this year.
They took a camera off us though on Sunday afternoon.
What?
They took a camera off us. The BBL said we only needed one camera. So we had one camera in the baseline camera, and our replays were all long. Like normally the replay cameras are close up.
Right.
Which was weird.
Okay.
Couldn't afford another camera at Plymouth. Never mind.
Well, so yeah, you know.
Well, nah. I've just looked at, you said about two separate teams. If they play EuroLeague, that's 30 games. You could legit have a second team.
I thought they were going to do that this year, to be fair.
That's what I mean. It's not like it's, we only need them for what, 15 games.
And then is that good for the league, as such?
Well, this is where I get confused with it all, because it's like, you know, everyone goes on about what they're doing for the league's great, and it's like, well, it's not. What they're doing for them is great, but how is what they've done benefiting the Surrey Scorchers?
I guess it's not. Yeah, it's whether or not the investment filters down from that European campaign or future European campaigns.
Well, quite so.
Yeah.
I still think we wait. See, I'm so curious to see what happens. I think every week of this off season, we're going to hear news about something. We've got.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's going to be so much change next year. I think there's going to be a bunch of stuff happening.
I also don't think we'll get to do our movie draft again.
We'll have to get it done soon. We'll have to get it done straight after the playoffs finishes. Maybe record it there. That'd be fun. Yeah. Let's move. We'll stay with the Lions just briefly. We had a bit of a chat on. I have to say thank you actually to everyone in the Discord channel for the debate on MVP. I've got to be honest, it was quite a nice distraction for me. I started the debate while I was sat in hospital. My little girl was having an operation, and they were taking so fucking long that it was driving me around the bend. So I started that. So thanks everyone. She's fine, by the way. Bless her heart. But she had general anaesthetic. It was a bit scary. But the debate was regarding MVP race and whether or not Dekker has played enough minutes or enough games as such to actually be crowned. I made my thoughts on it quite plain. I didn't think he'd played enough games. Ads, my man.
Played enough games.
So I think he's played, was it 11 less than the kind of top 10 for efficiency? Not that that's the be-all and end-all stat or anything, but 19 out of,
It just feels like when you're talking about the MVP, it almost feels like it's like, oh yeah, MVP, because everyone's expecting Dekker to get it. Yeah, I mean, who are the forerunners here? Throw some names at me. MVP.
Well, there's a lot depending on who actually finishes top four. So as you look at it at the moment, Lions are top, and I guess Sharma and Dekker are kind of the front runners for that. Bristol, you're looking at VJ King possibly, who's had an exceptional season. Leicester Riders, Mark Loving, and Zach Jackson actually, I think, has been outstanding. And then it's Giants, Gladiators, Phoenix, or Sharks that are running for that fourth spot. If it's Giants, it could be anybody. Like Ramon's up there. Taj Green has been exceptional this season. I've really enjoyed him. Gladiators, Sloan's probably the most consistent out of that. What would you say, Grant?
Top 5 in scoring, top 5 in assists. So when you go through his stats, I had a wee look at this one because when I'd seen perhaps you put the question out there, I was like, who's wearing different categories? And I'm like, is that if you discount Dekker, if you also would then have to take out William Lee because he's played less games than Dekker.
Yeah, you really when he's out. Yeah.
And if we're putting in, say that's our criteria for how we want to do it.
Well, Larry Austin, obviously, I was going to mention as well if Cheshire Phoenix can make that top four. And
that's where I think actually we've got it just shows you the quality of league this year that we're actually in a situation where actually that your top 5 Pabs could be different to mine, different to Ads.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, of course.
That is brilliant. And that is all credit to the other 9 teams in the league because the recruitment this year has been awesome. And the teams that have been put together. I mean, man, this Giants team, I've enjoyed this team so much. I've enjoyed this team more than any Giants team since they came back.
You got Ramon, man, you lucky bastard.
I think I thought you said that Taj Green shoots the ball too much from 3-point line, so I didn't know what you were saying.
I said that. Right, yeah. I disclaimed that was not in any way a jibe at Taj Green. I was talking about a game where he'd gone 1 from 6.
He did, you're right. And he should have gone inside, yeah.
And the fact that he can single-handedly take a team down by going inside. It was a compliment rather than a diss.
Bless old Vince, though. He took it personally.
It's sometimes I feel like I almost want the 3-point shot and what it means to me. It's almost, for me, it's the highest compliment I can give someone saying that they shouldn't shoot threes because they're better than that.
They're better than that, yeah. Yeah. But is it? I mean, we're saying, Ads, do you think Dekker's played enough games?
No.
Grant?
I'm a big fan of Dekker. If he'd played a handful more games, then I would say, yeah, he's played enough. But if he is done and not playing another BBL game, is 19 games enough? I would say no.
But the other thing is, does it matter? Because this is, I to be honest, I put it in the Discord thinking I'd be an anomaly, but there are other people that think like me. Evidently, Ads is one of them, but we're both old, so I sort of took that for granted. But,
There's a guy on
Does-
every team outside of London that you could put in the conversation.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the other thing, the criteria for it. Obviously, when it comes to our pick, the BTR MVP of the season, these things matter to us in terms of how many games you've played, how many minutes per game you play, because I was furious when Darian Nelson-Henry was in Team of the Year. He's a great player, very effective in 20 minutes, but he only played 20 minutes. And you've got other players that are playing 35 minutes with better numbers because their numbers weren't as good as his were in 20 minutes, if you like, per 20 minutes, wherever it is. You're kind of picking people based on what they might do if they play 40 minutes, which is bullshit because he didn't. Whereas someone like Rashad Hassan played 35 minutes and scored 20 points a game, and that kind of thing matters to us. Go on, sorry, Grant.
No, because I was just going to say, I look at when we think also last season, like Antonio Williams came in and set the league alight, but he only came in after Christmas and was kind of on no one's radar. I see a lot of similarities there with someone like an Al Durham, and he's
Marcus Evans even as well. He's been phenomenal.
Guys that Marcus Evans plays behind Larry Austin Jr. and Jamal Anderson, and maybe that's a wee bit different. But I look at someone like Al, who's come in, taking a lot of the ball handling away from Sloan, came in after Jordan Burns. Gladiators got a buyout for Jordan Burns, and he was like, okay, how's this guy going to do? Start the season in Greece. But he's not going to be in any discussions for MVP, but actually, he can do it all. He's another one. If he was in the squad, from the start, like he's only played I think 12, 13 games. So even if you add in 6, if I'm setting my threshold at 20 odd games, he's not making it. But I struggle to even in my own I just saying about Giants. There's so many talented players. You've not even mentioned Dirk Williams.
No.
And I'm thinking of my team being who's the most valuable player to my team? And I could happily argue that Prince Onwaz is the most valuable player for the Gladiators.
Phenomenal. I think that guy
and he's probably the 4th or 5th scoring guy. He's so valuable when we're talking about the nutshell of what that means. Yeah. And then you go Sloan's top 3 in scoring. Jeremiah Bailey's top 2, I think, in rebounding.
Yeah,
Sloan's top 5 in assists. Durham's not far behind him. So there's so many different ways to look at this about what actually most valuable means. I think from what I'm saying to myself, I think I'm moving towards I think VJ King's probably the most valuable player of the season.
I think he's been phenomenal.
Because he's been phenomenal. And I'm actually really excited to watch the game on Friday to see how he plays against the Gladiators.
He was so good against the Lions, and he was very, very tightly guarded as well. I think as well, when we look at it, we look at things like games, but obviously coaches, I don't know, because they vote for the MVP at the moment, I don't know if they're just going to likely just vote for the best player they've seen and not take any of these things into account. But it's like an amalgamation of sort of stats, your team's league position, because we mentioned top 4 traditionally, the MVP comes from top 3, top 4 at a stretch, perhaps. But the other thing as well with the Lions is he's maybe not played enough games, but the other thing is that's a really good team, and Riders players have suffered in the past in terms of MVP because of the team's performance.
Yeah,
there's no real standout player. I thought Tyler Bernardini one season should have won MVP because he was, in my mind, was the most valuable and best player on the best team in the league, but Justin Robinson got it because he was more standout.
Well, you even have to look this season. We've not even mentioned Kimball, and Kimball's the reason they've won a lot of games this season.
He's been very, but his is more of a step up. Like he's been his usual talented self. He's had to step up.
He'd be more like your most improved player.
Yeah, probably.
Most improved.
I'd agree with that.
Well, we're gonna change because we always piss about with the 6th man because it's a ridiculous notion. That guy off the bench when actually, generally speaking, very often isn't that guy off the bench. He finishes the game anyway. So our kind of category for that is going to be impact player, the best impact player, which is, it can mean coming off the bench. It can mean, you need someone to step up. And Kimball McKenzie fits that bill. He's had to step up, and he has stepped up when he's had to. Jelani Watson-Gale's another one who's been a real impact player, hit those big threes against the Lions at the weekend, and somebody else that essentially come on off the bench and doing it as well, and ran the show, to be fair, for the Flyers late in the game, and does so consistently.
I mean, and to be honest, one of the most interesting ones will be Rookie of the Year.
There's a few genuine rookies.
There's a few genuine rookies, and all of them have been awesome.
I think Taj Green's the favourite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jeremiah Bailey. Shit.
Legitimate rookie though, Grant.
Is it Sloane's first year as well?
Yep.
Fucking hell. How are we going to pick that one?
Look at the
mental.
rookie classes.
So would you like to remove your previous comment, Mr. Pablo Cheeks?
Yes, I would. I'd like to think more about that in terms of what I said above. That's a crazy. That's probably maybe one of the best rookie classes we've ever seen in the BBL.
I mean,
genuine rookies.
This is the class of '96 for the BBL.
That said, first ever season we ended up with Daryl Thomas. Of course, was Indiana Hoosiers, won the title and made the assist for the game-winning shot, and then was MVP of the league when he played for Hemel. From the worst spot as well, they were out. They missed the playoffs. I think they were 9th. And he somehow got MVP, which pissed me off because Alan Cunningham was the best player on the best team in that season.
You've never mentioned that.
I might not have done. It's the snub season, in my opinion. Anyway, we'll talk more about MVP, obviously, as the season comes to an end. Our Discord channel are going to help us decide on our nominees for that. And then, obviously, us, as in me, Grant, Ads, and Nicholson, will put forward our votes. So we'll pick 3.
I think it's a good thing. How can people join our Discord?
Well, the link was on our bio for Twitter. I'm not sure if it still is. I might have to update it. If you want a link, just DM us. If it's not there, go on, Ans.
What the fuck is Discord?
The worrying thing is, Ads, you have joined it before.
Have I?
Yeah. You've joined it. You've sent like 3 messages, and then we never heard from you again.
Is it an app or is it a website?
It's like WhatsApp, really. Just
is it an app on your phone or
yes?
No,
it's an app on your phone or your computer. No. Don't download it on your computer though, because if you do, take it out of startup, because it takes forever to start up on a computer. It's a pain in the arse, and your computer's already a pain in the arse for starting up, isn't it?
My computer's a nightmare.
Right, we've actually got quite a vibrant, popular, busy Discord channel that's constantly going off. It's actually quite good reading.
You get brought up in it regular as well.
Me?
Yeah. Loved what Ads said, hated what Ads said. Ads is a genius. Ads, it's all there. Where can I get some BTR merch? I'm like, ask Ads. Yeah. There you go. It's a good place to be. It's positive. It's like the Orange website, but positive.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So the thing with it is, for me, is when you're involved in junior basketball, you end up in so many groups on WhatsApp.
I bet.
And the thought of having another group on top of all the groups I'm in already makes me shake slightly.
Yeah. I'm not in that many, so it doesn't bother me too much. We do weekend fantasy from there as well, which is hotting up, and fantasy league is as well. There's me and I forget who else is up the top there in the running for the league. I made a big trade at the trade deadline, picked up Larry Austin Jr. and I gave away a draft pick next season, but I went all out to try and win it just once. Not going to happen though, I don't think. Might have fucked it, but never mind.
However, how's the standings looking this week after a few weird results?
And the league table?
No, us lot.
Well, the predictions?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it now, shall we? Let's have a look. I've been trying to cut to it and get to it. We're finally here.
Smooth transition, eh?
Yeah, smooth like fucking jaggedy knife edges. So, looking at, we're going right the way back to Tuesday. Ryder's got the win. So obviously Nicholson drops one there. Lions beat Surrey on the Friday. Giants destroyed the Pats. That's not a good week for Nicholson, is it? Eagles Knicks. Knicks got the Eagles, didn't they? So Nicholson picks one up there, and we will lose one on that one. So he's got one back.
Did I say Eagles in that game?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, sorry.
Shit.
Hang on, let me just make sure. Let's go undo. Yeah, Eagles.
Who won that one?
Nix beat the Eagles, didn't they? By 19.
Oh, okay.
Flyers lost heavily to the Riders, so Nicholson gets one back there
I'm
as
blaming
well.
you, Matt.
Nicholson's back on it now. Eagles, sorry. We all took the Eagles except for Nicholson. Oh,
He totally double bluffed himself this week.
right, didn't he? Riders, Pats. Everyone took the Riders except Nicholson. Oh, here we go. Now we're on it. Lions obviously lost to the Flyers, and the only one who took the Flyers was our man Ads. Well done, sir. Giants, Glads. Oh, Grant, you're the only one who took the Glads. Well played.
I'm a believer.
Sharks, Knicks, Ads, and Nicholson are the ones who took the Knicks. Let's total up. So 95, 96, 97,
Abs,
98.
is this a good week for you?
99. I'm not sure, actually. 99 for Nicholson. Grant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 108 for Grant. Ads. 1, 2, 3, 6. Ads got 9. He's on 101 now. Ads, you're on 101.
Nicholson's in last place.
He's gone past Nicholson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on 106.
108, 106, 101 and 90 what?
Jesus, that is... it's getting closer.
Ads is in the mix. There's an
Stitched up.
asterisk beside his name, though.
Why is that? Oh, because of the late picks.
In like week 4.
Oh, he's memorised it. There we go.
I
That's
don't know.
good.
I think it's...
Good work. Right. 7th, 8th and 9th we're going for then, are we? First game up is the Lions at home, Leicester Riders, the visitors. Do the Lions lose again? Grant, do you want to go first?
No.
That's a shame.
Ads is going to go Leicester.
That's it's going to go Leicester. Come on,
Alright.
Rob.
I'll put that in there then. Good. Where's it at?
But Mark Loving's going to be struggling. I'm going London.
London at home as well.
I don't think that matters.
Well, I don't know. They're 3,000 odd fans, some for the first time, and we'll enjoy it. Eagles at home, Sharks.
Who are you going for? Who are you going for?
Lions, I said that. Didn't I? Well, I said it in my head. Lions, I'm going Lions.
Good
Eagles,
content.
Sharks. I will go Sharks. Yeah, I'm not sure about it though. Eagles at home. Ads, my man. Eagles or Sharks?
I'm going to go Eagles.
Grant, where are you going?
I
It's a split pack right now.
know, I didn't like that. It was I'm going Eagles.
And Eagles.
Sorry, Paul.
I think it's a bounce back game for the Sharks. Gladiators at home to the team fighting for second place, the Bristol Flyers. This could be a very entertaining game. You can go first this time.
I'm going to go for the Glads because I think they're riding on the crest of a wave at the moment. We talked about whether they'd slump after winning the trophy or whatever, but
No such thing, is it? Yeah.
no, I think
Good on 'em.
the Glads are having it.
Grant, sticking with Glads.
Of course.
I'll go for the easy Zag Flyers. Also riding a crest after beating the Lions in a tight affair. Giants at home. Last game on the Friday night, this must be. The Giants at home, Cheshire Phoenix, the visitors. Oh, it's a tough one to pick. We're back to Grant going first. Go on.
I've gone first lots tonight. I never go first.
No, just once. We're sharing it out.
Sharing's caring. I'm going to go with Giants.
Ads, my man. Giants or Knicks?
It's retro night in Manchester on
Oh.
Friday,
Lovely stuff.
so Giants.
Okay, I'll zag again. Go Knicks. Lovely.
This could either be hit so good for you, Pabs.
Well, I'm not holding out much. This is the tough one of the weekend to pick, in my opinion. Scorchers, Pats. Scorchers at home. Pats, the visitors. I'll go Pats, but I don't feel good about it. Ads, my man.
Pats.
Oh. Grant's going to zag?
No, Grant's going Pats as well.
Oh, geez, look at that. Pats full house. I'm actually going to put Nicholson down as Pats. He hasn't given us any, but I'm assuming that's the stock answer, isn't it? That's the only game on the Saturday, which means that one will feature in the weekend fantasy picks. And then we're on to the Sunday, the 9th. Patriots at home to the Caledonia Gladiators. Well, Nicholson will be Pats. Grant, Glads?
Yep. Let's go Gladiators.
Abs, Glads. Ads, you going Glads or Pats?
I want to go Pats so badly, but Gladiators.
Well, Nicholson could pick one up there. I'm calling that one, aren't I? Yeah. I don't think I'm working. I know I'm working the 16th, so I won't be able to do that one. So Jack Guthrie, if you're listening, give Nicholson a call. Next one up, Riders at home, Eagles, the visitors. This has been a fun fixture, actually, the last couple. Close games. Riders obviously going for the second spot. Eagles for the 8th. I'll go Riders. Grant, my man.
Raiders.
Ads.
Riders.
In the storm. Sharks next, and they are at home to the Phoenix
Again.
Reverse fixture. Oh no, it's reverse fixture. Phoenix were at home last time. It was a hell of a game. It's still tough to call. Ads, my man, what are you going? Sharks or Knicks?
Knicks.
Grant?
I'm going to go Sharks.
See, no, I'm not sure. I'm going to go Knicks, I think. It seems to be whichever one I pick for that fixture, the other team wins anyway, so I don't think I can pick one up on that one. Giants at home for the last one of the weekend, and they are at home to the London Lions. Ads, my man, are they going to do it?
I think that's a yes.
They're going to do it.
Giants it is.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
Grant, my man. Are they? Could they theoretically be out of the European competition at this stage?
I don't know.
Because this is next week, isn't it? When is the first Euro game? It's the 12th, isn't it? Something like that, 11th or 12th. So this is prior to that.
Your content this right now is me thinking really hard, and
It's like 3 days before their fixture in the Euro Cup round of 16 against tough opposition.
I'm thinking Giants.
Yeah, I'm going to go Giants as well, simply because of everything I just said. I think there's a chance for them to rest players. Anyway, that's that done. We'll get Nicholson's in the book. He'll probably listen to this and then frantically message me over what his intentions are. That's it for predictions. We're almost finished, fellas. We're going to have a quick quiz to see who's going to choose who's going to play the show out. It's a simple quiz, so we should only need a couple of minutes to do it, hopefully. Or let's go and come back one more time. Let's have a quick break, come back and finish it up. So we're going to finish every week now. We're going to try and finish with a little quiz. Nicholson will be gutted he's not here. Now, it's along the lines of the Christmas quiz that we had, that round where you have to remember name the squad, basically. You get 2 lives. If you get a name wrong, you lose a life, and then obviously last one standing gets to choose what the outro music's going to be. It's a bit easier than that, though. Why? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a bit easier than that. Maybe I'm being generous. What we're going to do instead is we're going to look at this season. I need to see both your hands, by the way, please. Hands up so that you're not cheating. Good. We're going to go for top 10s this season, and we're going to go for rebounds. If you name somebody who's not in the top 10, you lose a life. Obviously, if you name someone who is in the top 10, for total rebounds this season so far.
total rebounds? So
Total
average per game or total?
Total rebounds. Otherwise, I'd have said average rebounds, but I didn't. I said
Double checking, Pablo.
total rebounds. Top 10. If you name someone outside the top 10, you lose a life. If you name someone inside the top 10, obviously we move on to the next person. You've got 2 lives. You lose 1 life. Actually, let's go 1 life. No, bollocks to it. 2 lives. Let's see how it goes. Cue the music. Let's start with, let's go in alphabetical order. Ads.
Harsh Green.
Correct. He is number 1 with 279 total rebounds. Grant.
Jeremiah Bailey.
Jeremiah Bailey is 2nd with 230 rebounds. Get him off the list. Ads.
Does Kufos count?
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Costa Kufos is 29th. So you lose a life, Ads. It goes to Grant.
Someone like a Hassan must be up there.
Which one?
Plymouth.
Rashad Hassan is 6th. Ads.
Barrow Ali Hodzic.
Ooh.
Ali Hodzic joined late. He hasn't played enough games. He's not even in the top 4th. Are you looking at this? I don't think. So you've lost 2 lives, Grant.
You've had a fucking nightmare.
Grant, name us 1 more to win. You've had a fucking nightmare. What a great accent.
Fuck. If Kufos isn't there, will Sharma be there? No. Let's go Bristol. They must have someone like, let's say, VJ King.
Vincent King is 4th.
Ah!
Well done.
MVP.
Well played to you. I'm trying to look how many rebounds he's got now, but I've shuffled along. 206 for him. So there you are, Grant. You win. We'll come to you for what song we're going to play the show out with. Ads, my man, thanks for coming on. Anything to plug?
Nothing to plug, but I just want to shout out my daughter's Mystics 2 team that made it through Sweet 16 and they're in Elite 8. Nice work.
Yes.
Is there a campaign you want to start? Something to do with commentators being allowed to wear hats? I can't. Is it? No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't commentate without a hat on. Grant, my man. Anything to plug?
If I commentated on anything, I would definitely need a hat too.
You can't wear one. Might make the headphones wonky or something.
I've got big head, it is.
How much time
what have I got to plug? I've did some interviews after the game. What day are we on? Sunday. We're not on Sunday, we're on Monday, but did some interviews after the game yesterday with both teams from Giants and the Gladiators. So go check that out, as I spend a lot of time doing that, so I'd appreciate people to go listen.
Yeah, I got some. I couldn't be asked to put them out. Sorry, everyone. What song are we having in, Grant?
I'm off to 2 different gigs this weekend. So Friday and Saturday. So
what it is to be young, eh?
My bank balance doesn't like it. So I want to choose. I'm going to see a Glasgow band on Saturday called Saint Phoenix.
Delamitri? Oh, right, okay.
Saint Phoenix. Brilliant band. And one song that you probably will have heard of for different TV stuff, but something that you probably wouldn't know who it was, Happy Place. Because I'm still in my happy place from Gladiators winning.
Oh, very good.
And I think it just has been a brilliant season. I've thoroughly enjoyed this season so far, and I am buzzing for the playoffs for everyone. And yeah.
Good on you. Well played. Right, that's it from us. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, everybody at home, for listening. We'll be back next week for more of the same. Till then, take it easy. We'll speak to you soon.
If I could wish upon a star, I'd wish that I could heal the scars and take away every ounce of pain. So hold my hand if you feel scared. I'll build a house where you feel safe. And if you call my name, then I'll be there. Over the hills and far away, looking out for a better day. When it seems like there's no escape, take me to my happy place. If I could wish upon a star, I'd take us right back to the start. Close my eyes and live those days again. Oh, I would walk 1,000 miles to hear you laugh and see you smile. I wish that things would never have to change. Over the hills and far away, looking out for a better day. When it seems like there's no escape, take me to my happy place. In the darkness, leave a light on. Through the storm, I remember what you told us. Keep your head up, standing strong. If you dream and believe, you can find a way back home. Over the hills and far away, looking out for a better day. When it seems like there's no escape, take me to my